If you think rush hour traffic is a nightmare, then you probably haven't seen the roads in this video. Some roads are so dangerous that you might wish you were just stuck in traffic every day, as long as you were safe. What happens when the road narrows until your wheels are almost hanging over a cliff thousands of meters deep? Or when you're shopping at a market and a massive train rushes past just inches from your heels? It sounds like a scene from a Hollywood action movie, but it's all real. Every day, people still risk traveling these routes. Here are the 10 most terrifying roads on Earth. Do you have the courage to watch them all? Amidst the majestic Himalayas, there's a deadly crack, thin as a thread, stretching across the mountainside. That's Zoji La Pass, where just a glance into the abyss is enough to make even the toughest drivers break into a cold sweat and immediately drive as meekly as beginners. Perched precariously at an altitude of 3,528 meters, this lifeline connecting Kashmir and Ladakh is essentially a grey rope suspended in the sky. On one side, a sheer cliff face. On the other, a 600-meter deep chasm with no guardrails whatsoever. The road surface is a mere 3 meters wide. Whenever two trucks meet head-on, it becomes a truly suffocating psychological game of who will back up closer to the edge of death. In winter, Mother Nature activates survival mode. Temperatures hit rock bottom at minus 20 degrees Celsius, and blizzards and landslides are ready to wipe out the road overnight. With dozens of vehicles plunging off each year, navigating Zoji La is exactly like a game of Russian roulette with fate, where peak skill must be accompanied by sheer luck. Crazy as it is, this lifeline has existed for centuries. From ancient trade caravans to 1948, when the Indian Army achieved the impossible, pulling an entire brigade of tanks up this deadly altitude. Today, trucks still roar, inching their way across the pass, like ants clinging to the edge of the world. Standing before this thread, dangling between clouds and sky, will you bravely hit the gas or meekly turn back? If Zoji La is like a rope suspended in the Himalayan sky, then our next location looks like a gateway to a world of ice and snow. But the beauty here is sometimes too perfect, so much so that people forget the terrifying story behind it. That's Rohtang Pass, a mountain pass located in Himachal Pradesh, India, at an altitude of nearly 4,000 meters above sea level. From a distance, the winding road through snow-covered mountains looks like a silver ribbon draped across the Himalayan slopes. Green valleys, snowy peaks, and a clear sky make this place seem like a perfect natural painting. But don't let that scenery deceive you. The name Rohtang is often understood as pile of corpses, the pass of dead bodies. This chilling name originated centuries ago, when caravans and travelers perished here due to blizzards and harsh weather. The road at Rohtang is narrow and winding with many sharp turns. On one side is a sheer cliff. On the other, a chasm hundreds of meters deep. Strong winds, avalanches, and blizzards can appear unexpectedly, making this route usually passable only from around May to June to October. According to local reports, the Rohtang area records dozens of traffic accidents each year, from skidding vehicles and landslides to cars falling into the abyss. Over the past few decades, hundreds of people have died on this pass. During peak tourist season, on some days, over 5,000 vehicles attempt to cross this narrow road, turning it into a real challenge. Rohtang is thus both beautiful and terrifying. It's like a magnificent natural painting, but with just one unexpected blizzard. That painting can transform into a struggle for survival. If Rohtang Pass is a magnificent yet deadly snow-capped mountain painting, then our next location presents an equally heart-stopping challenge. No high mountain passes, no blizzards, but rather a wooden bridge so flimsy that just looking at it is enough to make your legs tremble. That's the Kuandinsky Bridge in Siberia, Russia, dubbed the most nerve-wracking bridge in the world. The bridge spans 570 meters across the Vitim River, but is only a mere 2 meters wide. From a distance, it looks exactly like a thin wooden ruler someone accidentally dropped on the water. No railings, no protective barriers, just old rickety planks precariously laid out. Originally, this was the remnant of an unfinished railway project. When the trains never materialized, it reluctantly became the only way for the 1,500 residents of Kuanda town to cross the river. Driving across it in summer is already a test of courage, but Siberian winter is truly a nightmare. When temperatures drop below freezing, the wooden surface becomes an icy, slippery sheet. At this point, friction is almost non-existent, and maneuvering a multi-ton vehicle across the bridge is like forcing an elephant to ride a bicycle on an ice rink. In addition, strong crosswinds howl across the river, as if trying to lift the entire vehicle and throw it into the water. Drivers have to roll up their windows, hold their breath, and grip the steering wheel tight. Just a wheel slip of a few centimeters, and the reward will be a free fall into the freezing Vitim River. Crossing Kuandinsky is truly a tightrope walk in midair. And the question is, do you dare hit the gas on a bridge that's only a hand's width wider than your car? If the last 3 roads were enough to make your heart skip a few beats, then our next coordinates will force you to check your seatbelt one more time. That's Taroko Gorge Road in Taiwan. A road not built on the ground, but carved right into the side of a massive marble canyon. With sheer cliffs up to 1,000 meters high, pressing in on both sides, and the Liwu River roaring below. This route, seen from a distance, looks like a thin gray thread, weaving its way through a stone labyrinth. It's so beautiful that many drivers are willing to slam on their brakes mid-drive, just to quickly snap a once-in-a-lifetime photo. But behind that splendor lies a brutal history. In 1956, thousands of laborers had to hang suspended from the cliff face, using drills and explosives to carve out every meter of road. Over 450 people sacrificed their lives to complete this masterpiece. Today, Taroko proudly remains among the top 12 most dangerous roads on the planet. The road surface is narrow, with blind curves and countless dark tunnels. The most terrifying specialty is landslides. Located directly on an active seismic belt with frequent earthquakes, driving here is like playing a game of Jenga with Mother Nature, where gravity is always ready to gift you tons of free-falling rocks without warning. Traversing Taroko is like strolling through a magnificent art exhibition created by nature. Except, the ceiling of this exhibition can occasionally collapse at any moment. If Taroko Gorge makes people drive while glancing up at the cliffs, wondering if any rocks are thinking about falling, then our next road presents an entirely different kind of danger. Here, there are no spectacular canyons or sheer cliffs. What makes people most anxious is the frightening isolation of nature. That's the Dalton Highway, officially known as Alaska Route 11, a 414-mile, 666 kilometers road that cuts through the Alaskan wilderness, USA. The road was built in just 5 months in 1974, initially to transport supplies for the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. On a map, the Dalton Highway looks like a long cut across the icy map of North America. But when actually driving on it, many realize the most terrifying thing: the unbelievable emptiness. For nearly 400 kilometers, you can drive without encountering a single gas station, restaurant, hotel, or service. There's only the roads stretching to the horizon, wild forests, a vast sky, and occasionally a few trucks passing by like rare guest stars of this land. The weather here is also far from friendly. In winter, ice and snow transform the road into a giant, slippery mirror. In summer, gravel and mud make driving feel like navigating a massive construction site in the middle of nature. Along the route are numerous warning signs for dangerous grades, strong winds, and avalanches. It's no surprise that the Dalton Highway is often ranked among the top 10 most dangerous roads in America. But what truly worries many is not the road itself, but the solitude. If your car breaks down here, you might have to wait for hours or even a full day before anyone passes by. So, driving on the Dalton Highway is like embarking on an adventure in the wilderness. A long, cold, and quiet road, where sometimes you'll realize that Google Maps can give you directions. But here, there's no one to ask for them. Have you ever heard of a road that completely disappears under snow every winter? That's the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine route in Japan. Also known by its impressive name, the Great Snow Walls. Every winter, snow falls so heavily that it virtually swallows the entire road. The average snow depth can be about 7 meters, and in many sections it reaches 18 to 20 meters, as high as a 6-story building. From a distance, the area looks like a giant snow mountain, where the road below completely vanishes. In spring, when the route is preparing to reopen, work crews have to start a special task: digging out the road buried under the enormous layer of snow. giant snowplows work continuously for nearly 3 months to cut through the ice layer as thick as a wall. But the interesting thing is that before they start, they have to precisely locate the road using a GPS system. The reason is simple. Under dozens of meters of thick snow, no one can see where the actual road lies. Without GPS, digging snow here would be like trying to find a road buried under an entire ice mountain. When the road is finally opened, 2 colossal snow walls stand tall on either side, creating a spectacular white corridor through the mountains. Walking along this road sometimes feels like stepping between the walls of a giant ice castle, only with one small difference. This castle wasn't built by humans, but entirely by nature. But if you think snow walls dozens of meters high are enough to astound you, then our next location might be even more incredible. Can you guess which road could surprise the whole world like that? Because what's coming next is truly a place where very few people would think humans could drive through. If the colossal snow walls in Japan amaze many, then our next road surprises people in a completely different way. Here, there's no pristine white snow or grand structures. What makes this road famous is its harshness. So much so that even bicycles sometimes want to turn back. That's the Karnali Highway in Nepal, one of the world's most dangerous routes. Stretching approximately 250 kilometers through the rugged terrain of the Himalayas. This road resembles a small streak of earth clinging to the mountainside, winding through deep valleys and steep slopes. But what makes Karnali terrifying isn't just the altitude, but the condition of the road itself. The road surface here is often dirty, muddy, and slippery, especially after heavy rains. There are sections so narrow that vehicles have to crawl slowly, meter by meter, as if trying to balance on a muddy rope. Locals even joke that even bicycles have to think twice before entering this road. Due to these harsh conditions, accidents on Karnali Highway occur quite frequently. According to local reports, about 50 people die each year from vehicles skidding, overturning, or plunging into deep ravines. Yet for many remote mountain villages in Nepal, the Karnali Highway remains a vital lifeline. Food, fuel, and goods all have to travel along this muddy road. And watching vehicles slowly crawl across the mountainside, many realize that sometimes the most dangerous road in the world isn't the highest or the most beautiful, but simply the only road people can take. If most of the world's dangerous roads are found amidst high mountains or wild territories, then our next location is right in the middle of a bustling market. That's the Maeklong Railway in Thailand, often called the most dangerous railway market in the world. Dozens of stalls selling vegetables, fish, fruits, and snacks are set up right along both sides of the railway tracks, with umbrellas and tarpaulin roofs almost completely covering the train line. From a distance, the railway tracks look like a steel rope stuck in the middle of the market, making many first-time visitors think that trains must have stopped running a long time ago. But in reality, trains still pass through every day. This railway line was built in the early 20th century, 1905 to 1907. While the market existed before that. When a train approaches, a whistle blares, and in just a few seconds, vendors immediately fold their umbrellas, pull back their awnings, and retract their goods right to the edge of their stalls. The train then slowly makes its way through the market at a speed of about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, passing less than a meter from onlookers. The scene is like a bizarre performance between humans and a giant steel train. Surprisingly, serious accidents here are very rare, as locals are accustomed to the train schedule and perform their actions incredibly quickly. Then, as soon as the train passes, the market immediately reopens. Umbrellas pop up, goods are displayed, and everything continues as if the train that just passed was merely a visitor for a few minutes. After the Maeklong market, where people have to yield to a train, right in the middle of the aisle, our next journey takes us to a completely different place. No more train whistles or bustling market roofs. What awaits ahead is a long, desolate road, famous by a name that sends chills down many drivers' spines. The highway from hell. That's the Lena Highway in Russia, a route approximately 1,212 kilometers long, connecting the Siberia region to the city of Yakutsk. The name highway sounds very modern, but in reality, there isn't a single paved or concrete section here. The entire road is just dirt, gravel, and mud, because the ground is so unstable that if it were paved, the surface would quickly sink. In summer, when temperatures reach 32 to 35 degrees Celsius and heavy rains persist, the Lena Highway almost turns into a colossal ocean of mud. Trucks and cars sink deep into the thick mud, looking like ships stranded in a sea of earth. At times, thousands of vehicles get stuck, forming a traffic jam nearly 100 kilometers long, an involuntary parking lot stretching to the horizon. In one famous traffic jam, a pregnant woman gave birth right on a bus because ambulances couldn't get through the thick mud to reach her. That story became a testament to the harshness of this road. Ironically, winter is easier to navigate. When temperatures drop sharply, the mud freezes like natural concrete, and vehicles can travel up to 70 kilometers per hour. In other words, on the Lena Highway, the freezing winter is when the road functions best. Thus, the Lena Highway is like a strange joke of nature. In summer, the road turns into a giant soup bowl of mud, while in winter, it becomes a natural ice rink. A road more than 1,200 kilometers long, where sometimes drivers don't have to worry about the abyss ahead, but about their car being slowly swallowed by mud, like in a very expensive comedy. The final stop on this journey is not a road hundreds of kilometers long, nor a mountain-crossing highway. Instead, it's a tiny pathway suspended precariously on a cliff face, a place where just looking down is enough to make many people want to reconsider their decision. That's the Huashan cliff walk on Mount Hua in Shanxi Province, China. Located at an altitude of over 2,000 meters, the path leading to Huashan's peak is considered one of the most dangerous walkways in the world. To get here, visitors must traverse a series of steep stone steps, many sections almost vertical. But the real challenge only begins when the path transitions into a wooden walkway bolted directly onto the cliff face. These wooden planks are only about 27 centimeters wide, roughly the length of a foot. They are attached to the sheer cliff, forming a suspended walkway in mid-air. Below is a chasm hundreds of meters deep, and beside you are only iron chains to hold on to. Walking on this path is like stepping onto a small balcony suspended in the sky, where every step must be carefully considered. But the situation that makes many people most tense is when two people going in opposite directions meet. Because with a path less than 30 centimeters wide, passing each other is virtually a true One person has to press themselves against the cliff face, hands clinging tightly to the chain, while the other carefully inches past. Just one moment of impatience, and the feeling of danger immediately multiplies. This path is believed to have been built by Taoist monks over 700 years ago, to lead to sacred temples on the mountain peak. Today, visitors are equipped with safety harnesses and protective hooks. But the feeling of standing on those small wooden planks, suspended on the cliff face, is still enough to make many people take a few deep breaths before continuing. Because in this place, you'll realize one very clear thing. Sometimes the biggest challenge isn't how long the road is, but that the road is only as wide as a foot. The world always has roads that make people hold their breath as they traverse them. Some are suspended precariously on cliffs. Some are submerged in mud. And some are only as wide as a single step. But the astonishing thing is that people still travel them every day. Because sometimes, what makes a road special isn't its danger, but the courage of the people who step onto it. What about you? Of all the roads we've just seen, which one do you find the most terrifying? Share your thoughts in the comments section.